Okay, so as you can see, I'm using, well, you will see at the beginning of the video when I shoot it. I'm not able to use the footage that I wanted to from Fairy Ramu, so it'll just be a bunch of pictures because I kept getting copyright and my shit kept getting blocked because of that. I'm like, y'all so childish, grow up. So if the audio is off, it's probably because I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but it's probably because I spliced it and I took the video away but just left the audio. So the audio might sound a little crazy like the first 20-25 minutes. I don't know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. I don't know. Okay, so we're back. I had to get my shit together. Um Responsible by Chris. Pineapple Clara? Pineapple Margarita. So, as you can tell, by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about channeling. And we're not going to be talking about channeling, like, I'm going to have a separate video for that. This video is just talking about what I've been through when I channeled my family, right? And the experiences that I've experienced. Oh, why'd I do that? Yeah. Don't worry. We're also gonna be talking about Hakate too, but that's a separate video that I got for her because she was a little more. And we channeled Osmodeus too, but that was unintentional. But that's for tomorrow too. So yeah, so let's just get started. Okay, so when I was channeling the fairies, now what I've noticed when I've wanted to channel my family was that the day before or like a few days before, they would send me stuff like certain shows to watch. This fairy Ramu, right? Certain shows to watch. I'll have an urge to go on a walk, maybe, or to do a ritual, or to just sit in contemplation. And in this situation, it was the day before. No, no. The day before, I was really wanting to get into fairies. I've always been into fairies, but I've willing to get into fairies a lot. And the next day, the day of when I did this channeling, I shit. Yeah, the day of, I was called to watch Fairy Ramu. It just I was on TikTok and I remember having this forever ago. Like, I have ADHD. So I put stuff in my for later, watch later, and on TikTok or on YouTube or my phone. I'll put it in like the later, my photos. I never go back to it. But it popped up again. This time it popped up. Mind you, I've had this in my playlist on TikTok for months, but I forgot about it. Then it just popped up again, and I don't think I was really and I really wasn't searching for fairies. I was just searching for, I don't know, what was I searching for? I don't think it was for fairies. I think it was just the fairy aesthetic. Um, and then it led me to Fairy Ramu. I will say, y'all know I'm dyslexic, so reading in Japanese, reading an anime is not fun. I hate it. But I will say that I like this anime a lot, and I think I will continue to read it. But yeah, one thing about me, I hate reading anime. If I'm reading it, it turns me off, and I get bored. Because I don't get to enjoy it the way I want to. Because also, I create imaginations every time I read or watch TV. So it's like it doesn't help. And I like to watch their movements and their behavior. Even though I know they stand still for a little bit, I still like to just watch their movements and behavior while also processing what they're saying. But anyways, let me get into it. So I was watching this anime and it was showing me that yes, angels are sweet and playful and kind. Oh, let me just start the anime. They're sweet, playful, and kind, but they're not to be played with. Like, and I don't mean to be scared of them. I mean, angels, not angels, fuck. Fairies can whoop that ass. You know what I mean? Like, not whoop that ass, but like fairies, yes, they're very childlike, playful, and all that, and carefree. But fairies can get, if they wanted to, they can get down with the get down. You know what I mean? Like, which means what I'm saying is, because I had this old programming, it was still a little bit that fairies were like, not the strongest. They were weak. I gotta be honest. Yes, weak, just easy to get beat up. But this, when they directed me to this anime, they were showing me that no, no, no. So first of all fairies aren't sweet, nor are they cute and tiny. Which I know fairies aren't this big all the time, right? But just like this, fairies have their own factions within the fairy realm. There are fairy officials, there are people that are higher up in the community. And mind you, everything reflects everything, right? So just like how this society is, it's like that there. But obviously more peaceful, because we know they're in a different vibration than we are. But they were showing me how they can be fierce and battle worthy and battle savvy and just cunt. They can serve cunt. They can be very cunning, very wise and powerful, and they have nobles within their own range, right? Of course, right? Yeah. So they were showing me all that through this, and I watched the first 5 episodes, first 5 or 6. I watched one. I watched each episode that showed each fairy, and look at that. And this goes into like Hecate for a little bit, because when I was working through my sex, I'm gonna talk about this more on her episode. But when I was working through my sex trauma, I kept saying I want to be a fairy boy. I want to be a fairy boy, and it led me here. Crazy. Oh, I love this. Y'all can tell me this is not powerful. I love power and sensuality. I do. But anyways, they were showing me that they can be badass too. And any fairy, if they want to, can go up against a demon, a dragon, a unicorn. They can stand the test of time with the best of them. Essentially is what I'm saying, right? Thus they were showing me, like, we can be just as fierce and hard and harsh if we want to. And not just fairies, but the fae in general. But yeah, so later that night, after I got done watching Fairy Ramu, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I set the mood. I had all the lights off. Well, most lights off. I had my TV on, but it was the black screen. It was playing rain and thunder music or noise with the blacked out screen. But I had the either, I can't remember. It was either that or I had Enchanted Forest music on. I had a blindfold on, and I played Zelda music, and then I was lighting incense. But the funny part was when I was lighting incense, so I was choosing my incense. You know what I mean? Like seeing like some of the moves and the tone. I don't do this for everybody. I just felt the need. I just felt like I wanted to do it. So I was hitting the tone. I was looking for my incense, and I found 2 that I liked. It was the cotton candy one, and I think it's called Forest Dew. And I lit the cotton candy at first because I'm like, okay, fairies, going back into like my old programming. Fairies are sweet, cotton candy, yes. No. Because when I lit it the first time, it had a little bit of smoke, but it was burning without fire. Because I lit it, but you know how incense works. When you burn it, it catches fire for a little bit, and then it goes down. It didn't do it this time. It started burning. But then there was a little smoke coming from it, so I'm like, okay. Then I was like, hold up. Let me try this again. Because it went out. So I was like, let me try it again. And I lit it. This time, there was no smoke or no scent at all. Like, it was just burning from the inside. I'm like, okay. Okay, you little assholes. I see what it is. So I lit the Forest Dew one. Lo and behold, that one works just fine. Eye rolls. So when I was channeling them, they were nice. Cause like this isn't. Oh, I'm gonna say this isn't like full blown detail, because this is my first time channeling them. You know what I mean? And like, and stuff like that. Of course, when I get better at channeling, it'll be more experiences. And this video is mostly about my demons, my channel, my demon family collective. But we're working up to that. But this one was my favorite fairy. Look how cute he is. That's so cute. Dude, that's one of my archetypes for sure. But yeah, Fairy Ramu, cute anime. Um, I gotta watch Demon K-pop Demon Hunters. I finally got Netflix back, so I'm gonna watch that. Um, yeah. So what the artist the anime? You know what, I was, but yeah. So when I finally channeled them, they made me giddy. They were how they felt. They were very light. Um, fairy like, free forming. I don't think every fairy's like this, but I do think my fairy family is kind of like this, where like they're just very like I felt like a child. I felt very giddy, very playful, very whimsical. I they felt playful. Like I don't know how else to say it. They felt loving, of course, my family, right? They felt loving, and they were activating. Oh, and I forgot to say this. Each person I channeled, each collective, each family collective I channeled, they each were doing like their own ritual with me. Not necessarily ritual, but they were activating certain channels and doing a lot of spinal work. A lot of spinal work is what I noticed, and a lot solar plexus work. So I guess I had a lot of stagnant energy there. But I was doing a lot of movement. I was thinking in a meditative state too. I put my headphones on. Not everyone I put my headphones on with, but for them I put my headphones on, I think. And I was moving. No, I think I took them off towards the end, but like I was moving around in my bed in all types of positions, girl. Even uncomfortable positions. But I will say my spinal has loosened up. Like it doesn't hurt it doesn't hurt because when they used to do it, it hurt. Keep in mind, I was channeling for like 2 weeks straight. So, and I was still working with that because I would channel and then have a few days of working with that energy, and then I would channel another being again. Or sometimes I would channel the next night. So it was like 2 weeks of just pure channeling. It was a week. No, it was about 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks. It wasn't fully 2 weeks yet. But yeah. So I was doing a lot of like movements with my body. They were opening a lot of channels, a lot of portals, doing a lot of spinal work, and they were doing stuff with my you know perception and abilities and all that stuff. And keep in mind, this is just my first time channeling, so I'm not gonna. There's not much to say too much. Um, but oh, hold on. They doing a lot of wing work. Like they were opening my fairy wings. I can't. This video playing too long. They were opening my fairy wings, and um, so I was doing a lot of stuff with my fairy wings. I can literally feel it even when I do it now. What they were doing to it, it feels crazy. Look how he running. It felt crazy because I can feel y'all. I can like see it, but I couldn't see it. My fairy wings, like I could feel it and know that they were there, but I couldn't really see it yet. They were big, and it felt right. It felt like something was opening up inside of me, and I could literally fly. I will say, every time I channeled my families, I became lighter and lighter. Um, yeah, because when I was channeling, I was working with my etheric body as well, and that's also very important too, especially when channeling, and especially when building a bridge between your physical, etheric, and astral bodies, because that helps with astral projection and memorizing your astral projections as well. So yeah, so that's what it felt like. Um, they were so sweet. I loved them. They played too much, and when I channeled them, I channeled all my family this way. I would always be more talkative. I would always be in the background, but I would always be joking and playing with them because I missed them. Like it just happened, and I wouldn't even try to. It's just, I guess, like when you haven't seen that person so long, you have so much to say, type of thing. You know what I mean? And that's what it was. And yeah. So that night, I also did a spell to see them in the astral plane, because to go to the fairy room and to see. I want to see. I want to know more. And I wasn't strong enough. I managed to get there, but I didn't remember anything. The only thing I remember is coming back down in my body and seeing them leave and go into a portal. They were about human size, about my size, so like 5'5", 5'6". They were human size, and they have the most curviest body ever. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. They look like this. Let's see. Hope there's no porn on here. Okay, I don't need to see my porn. Um, what's it called? They literally look like the Tooth Fairy. Not this form, but her adult form. They look kind of like this, but I only saw them from the back, so I don't know what their front looks like. But from the back, they look similar to this, but they didn't have all this. I only saw like from the shoulders down. So because they were going inside of a portal. So, but their backside, it didn't have these. It didn't have the feathers, and it was mostly green, not blue, just green. And they had like this color skin, maybe more fleshy like, kind of like this. In the like, it was in the middle of their back. Like they had that skin showing in the middle of their back, and they had colors like this going around their skin. So they kind of look similar to like the Tooth Fairy from the Rise of the Guardians. So that was nice. They were sweet. They're so playful and so nice. And like I said, they can be very fierce and just like anybody else. Some can be moody. Some of them can be playful. Some can be serious, intellectual. Some very magical. Some childlike. The archetype of the fairy is very playful and childlike and mischievous. But within that archetype, you also have different archetypes, like everything, right? You have different personalities. Just because collectively they're like that, but individually they're a little different. So that's what they were showing me and teaching me. So yeah, that was nice. So now we have the Goddess Clan, aka the Angels. And when I was seeing my angelic family, now I already knew this, but hold up. I already knew this, but sometimes you just don't realize how old programming is still affecting you. Because I still had old roots of certain ideas. What the fuck? They got net. Of certain ideas and what they look like. And angels from Bayonetta, this is like the most accurate, right? Of course, not all angels look like this, but at their core, most angels are monstrous to look at, right? And they were showing me this, that yes, there are, and y'all gotta understand, and I gotta make a video about angels too, because I think there's a lot of misconception about angels, because there's a hierarchy to angels. And the angels typically that most people see are the lower ranking angels. Doesn't mean they're weak or bad, but the lower ranking angels are typically more human-like. The higher you go up, the more monstrous they look. But I'll make that video for another day. When I was telling my angelic family, what they felt like, I felt a lot of it right here. Like it felt a lot like they were working from, I guess you can say, maybe the top level of my heart chakra to my throat, ajna, and my crown chakra. They were working from like those angles, right? Mostly the crown. And the third eye. Like they were really up here. The angels are very intellectual, so they were mostly up here. And of course, they felt like light. It felt like if you can imagine heavenly light just shining upon you. Let me see. Um, cloud the Arctic. Like this. This is what you can imagine how it felt like. It felt like it literally felt like this. That's how the angels felt. Just like this. The clouds being cut by heavenly light. I know what I'm talking about. What else? Is there anything else? But yeah, that's what they felt like. And you could imagine, like, let me go back to this. You could imagine, like, it felt good. It felt like I was being hugged by home. I'll be honest with you. Channeling the angels felt like I was being hugged by the home. When I was channeling my fairy family, it felt like I was being hugged by nature, by the elements. Channeling my angelic family and my angelic form, it literally felt light. It felt like, oh, okay, let me skip. Um, so they were showing me one of my forms. In my angelic form, it was very monstrous. But it looked good though. It was more of a masculine form, and he was giant, of course. And his eyes were like voids. They were like the black voidness, right? And they had black sharp teeth, and they had claws for hands. They had a beautiful masculine frame, but the only clothes they had their skin. It was like they looked like a very pale blue, and that's what their skin was. And it was like a V cut right here because they had like a shirt on, but it wasn't a shirt. It was an outfit, a very fitted outfit, and it had a V cut right here. And that outfit, I don't know if you've seen it, but ever seen Super Smash Bros. Final Destination stages? Super Smash Bros. Final. Think of Super Smash Bros. Think of all their Final Destination stages, all formed into one theme, one stage. That's what my outfit looked like. That's the best way I can put it. It looked like that. And my throne was in between heaven and hell. And because by nature, I'm just a liminal being. And, I'm like a psychopomp by nature. And my throne was in between that. And everything. And I also called upon that form to help me with my sex trauma, by the way. But we'll get about that. We'll talk about that in Hakate's video. But yeah, channeling them. Of course, I did some wing work with them too, but not as much as I did with the fairies. With them, I was also still doing. I will say they were gentle. They. I forgot to put the humans. They were a little, you know, there were positions that they had me in that were a little uncomfortable, but for the most part, they were gentle. Out of everybody, I would say the angels were the most gentle that I channeled. Because some people were very rude. Like when I channeled the humans, the higher evolved humans, I would say my demon family treated me better. It's all love. But when I channeled the humans, they were really like a little rough. They know I'm tender headed. So why you tugging on my weave like that? Why you tugging on my scalp like that? No, I'm tender headed. And I told them that. They started laughing, but I was serious. I'm like, don't do that. Like if y'all want, I was like, if y'all want me to bend back this far, y'all are going to have to help me. I can't bend back that far. Because they were doing a lot of spine work too. My human family. I guess I could have put them in the video. Fuck. Baal Hadad. Yeah, I'll do them in a minute. But when I was channeling my angelic family, they were also doing a little wing work, but of course they were doing other stuff too. But they were the most gentle, right? And then after I got done channeling them, I went to sleep because I channeled all these beings somewhere around 3 p.m. I mean 3 a.m. to like 5 a.m. That's when I started channeling all of them. When I did channel them, right? And when I got done channeling my angelic family in my angelic form, I went to sleep, woke up. The first thing I did was fucking clean. Literally, when I woke up, the first thing I did was fucking clean. What kind of shit is that? I was like, oh. And then I asked my dream flame, my dream twin, and they told me that that's typically what happens when a lot of mystics first start channeling them, or just channeling them in general. You get this overwhelming, you get this feeling to just do good. Like when I tell y'all, the first moment I woke up, before I even ate, took a shower, before I worked out, the first thing I did was spiritually clean my room. I saged the crap out of my room. I used Santa Pollo. I used sage. I used incense. I did a spiritual mop. I did this in my room. And then I did a spiritual mop in the bathroom and in the kitchen. I'm trying to think if I did a water spell too. I don't remember. But yeah, that was the first thing I did was clean. So ghetto. So ghetto. But yeah, it was nice. They were fun. They're very kind. They're very forgiving. And honestly, people have a like I said, I gotta make a whole video. Actually, well, yeah, I can make the whole video, but I can still say this. People have a misconception about angels. Like, they're not love and light. I mean, they can be, but what I've been shown is like, just like the fairies, not all angels are soft. Which I knew that, but I didn't understand that. It's a difference to have it integrate that wisdom and understanding integrated versus just having intellectual knowledge, right? Right. So they're very playful too, and they're very fun. See, I thought that angels would. The way people talk about angels, they make it seem like they're very serious, they're very this and that, and they can be because angels represent the masculine energy. They represent the light, and light is a masculine principle. It's very structured, very ordered, very scientific, very mathematical, right? But what they were showing me is that they can also be very playful, very fierce, very loving, very carefree, and very messy too. They're typically not messy. To be honest, they're not. But they can be. It's very rare to find an angel who just gets, they nails dirty. But for the most part, they're carefree. And they don't care. That's one thing I learned about angels, that they don't care. Of course they love you and care about you, but they don't care. Like all that shame and guilt you put on yourself, they're and there's people on here that channel angels and work with angels. I don't know, I haven't really seen many videos about angels, but I'm pretty sure people will probably say the same thing. Is that because I know people channel them, but they'll probably say the same thing about angels. Is that actually probably not. I don't know, but they're very loving, very caring. They're very funny. Angels are very funny. They can play, and everybody that I channeled, and one thing that I've been taught and I learned and integrated was like all these beings, at the core of it all, they just love company. Just like everybody else, we all love good company, and I'm happy to know them that they are my family and I'm connected to them, and I made them laugh. Like I was making them laugh all the time. Crazy, because like I said, I haven't seen them in forever, so like I was just like cracking jokes, just playing with them, and like being myself. That whole, and I don't talk about the Bible that much because I don't. All my research, a lot of it is directly from the horse's mouth and from my own clear cognizant abilities, because they'll send me downloads to integrate. So that's how I get. And I'm like, don't go into this with little to no expectations, because I went in with a little expectations, thinking they wouldn't come to me. because y'all know I channel demons, and I'm a witch, and well, a witch. That's not really why, but like I'm a darker witch. I'm a darker person. So I'm thinking like they're not gonna come to me, and I watch a lot of videos, and the rhetoric. Y'all know the rhetoric. I don't have to go into it. So I still had a little bit of that programming. But when they came through me, they were laughing because I was like, wait, so y'all actually do care about me? Like, y'all actually care and all that stuff? And they were just laughing because, yes, they were telling me yes and all that stuff, right? And they were so sweet. Like, that's all I can say. Like, they were so kind, so sweet. Like, they shattered my whole notion and idea of the false perception of angels because they think the angels are not like they are in the Bible. Whatever you hear about the angels in the Bible, they're not like that. They are the complete opposite. Yes, they're very kind, but they can also be very unforgiving, very mean, very everything everything that's the opposite of what you've been told. But they're also playful. They're sweet. They know how to have fun. Like, they're open, they're kind, they accept everybody. What I learned from the angels is that they accept people. That's what they were showing me when I was channeling them. Because every time I channel them, I'll get downloads, or when they leave my body, I'll get more downloads in my sleep, or just in general throughout the few days, right? Because when I channel all these beings, it'll be a few days of their energy still residual, still affecting my aura. So I will still get downloads and information and stuff like that, right? And the angels, they were so like, they made me want to be a better person. And it was nice. I love feeling that way. Like when I tell you, they make you feel like you just wait. I can do anything I want to do. Like, they made me feel like I can do anything I want to do. I love you, my angel family, so much. But yeah. So that's enough for the angels. I could talk about the Huemons real quick. Let's see what videos I can find. Let's see if I can find images. I will say, I want to let you know that some of these beings, they couldn't show me their forms right away, because most of the time when I was channeling them, I was just channeling them to build up my etheric body and to feel their presence. I wasn't really trying to work with them. When I would channel all these beings, they automatically started working on my body. So keep that in mind. So they weren't worried about showing me their form yet. But actually, so so they weren't worried about showing me their form yet. Some have shown me some of their forms. Like I told you, the angels and the demons we're gonna get into. They showed me some of their forms. Forms that I could remember anyway. Yeah, so when I channeled the human collective, my human family, they also felt kind of angelic too, almost. Not exactly angelic. They felt very human, but like human that's like, I can feel that you're way more evolved. And they felt like, imagine a black screen. A pitch black screen or a room. Imagine everything just going black, right? And you see like colorful dots. Rainbow color, different colorful dots popping up on the screen. Subtly and softly. Some more boldly, some very subtly, some very softly. And it's just like, that is the best way I can describe how the humans felt. And sorry if you don't have an imagination. I'm sorry. I know some people have infantasia, but they felt like a pure black room with colorful, soft dots showing themselves and disappearing, showing themselves and disappearing, showing themselves and disappearing. That's what they felt like to me. They were so nice. They were actually really funny. And those are the motherfuckers that when I channeled them, they was heavy handed. I will admit. Because they were doing stuff with my neck when I was channeling them. I had a lot of energy right here in my neck. Like, it was burning. But I still allowed them to do what they need to do. And after a while, it settled. But oof, when they would turn my head certain ways, I would feel that it was like burning. Like, it was burning with electricity, y'all. channeling the human collective is no joke because when you channel them, and this thing, like I don't know what people do when they channel, but for me, when I was channeling them, I just all I wanted to do was just feel them. I just wanted to connect to my family again, right, to the cosmos. So when I channeled them, when I channeled everybody that I'm about to talk about in this video and in my other videos, I was just channeling them just so I can feel their energy and nothing else. But when I channeled them, they all of them will automatically work on my body, on my spine, on my chakras, my physical body, my etheric body, all that stuff, right? And after I get done channeling people, I can literally feel my etheric body inside my body, just like I'm tired. So it's fun. But yeah, channeling the humans were fun. They were very funny. One thing that I learned about the human collective is that they're very funny and crazy. Um, yeah, they were very beautiful. And I'm gonna talk more about the humans. There's not much to talk about now because with a lot of these beings, there's not much to talk about because they were just doing work on my body. So I really haven't got to like really get in there. But remember, we're all learning and it's steps, right? But I will say the humans, they were fun. Aside from them being a little heavy handed at times, they were fun because they started off gentle. That lasted for about 5 minutes. I was like, okay, y'all. Because there were points where I was like, okay, y'all actually starting to hurt me. They would send more energy so it wouldn't be so painful. Because they were the ones who I told, because they kept putting my spine, they kept doing stuff with my spine. And it was like kind of painful. Not like painful hurt, but like painful because imagine like a bunch of fiery electricity just running through your body. That's what it felt like through my spine. And I'm like, okay, y'all gonna have to help me out here. Because they had me doing back bends in the bed. I'm like, and they would kept putting my head, locking my head on the top of my spine. And that would also kind of hurt too. Because my head wasn't used to moving like that. Now it's a whole lot better. I can handle it because now I'm more mobile, more flexible, stuff like that. So yeah, challenging my human family was everything. Um, so now ignore this. This is for when I talk about Hakate. And now we're talking about demons. Demons. Channeling my demon family was everything. I will say I've channeled them the most and the longest. Um, Everything. So when I first channeled them, technically, if you go back to my first video about the time I channeled 9 plus beings. I talked about them there for a little bit. But when I channeled Osmodeus and Beelzebub, first of all these beings that I channeled, I didn't go to them; they came to me. Um, they actually appeared to me in one form or another. And when I channeled Osmodeus, well, I said make a separate video about that because Osmodeus and Beelzebub, when I channeled them, they came to me in a dream, and they each gave me a test that I passed. Because once I passed it, they left me, and I woke up saying their name. So I started doing research, stuff like that. But that was last. No, I think that was the beginning of this year. Yeah, it was towards the beginning of this year. Um, but fast forward until now. Look at that little thing, that meat flesh. I'm gonna cook it. Oh, so cute. That's me and my demon friend. Look at you, scared for no reason. Priest. I watched this on Netflix actually. I'm meaning to. But anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Who is this cutie over here? Look at her scared. I'm sorry, soul. Stop. Focus. Fast forward down. When I channeled them, I didn't channel Osmodeus specifically. I'm gonna save him for another video that I'm gonna do after this about Hecate because he kind of plays a minor role into that. But technically, he kind of plays an overall role. But that's why he's connected to Hecate in that episode that I'm gonna do because his role is more tied to her than this what I'm about to talk about. But I channeled my demon family, and when I channeled my demonic family, you can first of all their energy comes from the bottom up, and it's very intense. I loved it. I love intense energy because to me, the more intense it is, the more real it is. And for me, the intense energy feels normal. I'm naturally an intense person in general. So I know people say like, oh, yeah, they're very intense. Like some people are so dramatic, talking about some, yeah, I became sick. I became a little woozy. I'm like, damn, you all that? You can't handle it? But when I channeled them, no. I channeled at least 5 of my demonic family and once. And I want to feel them all. I said, and whoever, I was like, I want to feel all of y'all, whoever can come through, whatever I can handle. But I definitely want, even the stragglers, even the ones that I don't really know yet, I don't remember yet, y'all can come through too. I was opening only, I'm going to tell y'all this, when you channel, only open your portal, your vessel, to the specific beings that you want to allow to come through. Because the first time I channeled, I did have a straggler. I'm talking about when I channeled 9 plus beings, that day, it was months ago before this. But when I channeled 9 plus beings, and I got done channeling, I didn't close my portal, and I didn't declare who all I wanted in, and then I had like they weren't evil, but it was a straggler. I was like, y'all, like, you can't be here. I'm sorry, I'll get in trouble. They used my eyes to roll their eyes. I was like, well, fuck you too, then, bitch, get out. Nobody told you to be here. And I said, if when I get more powerful, I can challenge you again. But since you want to act like that, I'm never gonna talk to you again. Yeah, ate his ass up because don't do that. But yeah. So just make sure your portal, your vessel is secured before you channel people. And you declare, I only channel beings of unconditional love, of light, and that's of my of my higher divinity family. However you want to say it. I didn't say it like that, but you can say it however you want to say it. Just make sure you state that. Sometimes I'll state it like 3 times just so I can affirm it. But it's totally up to you. But I meant to say that at the beginning of this video. But yeah, when I channel my demonic family, they're very intense, very dark, and I love that. I love that so fucking much. I got drunk off of it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, y'all, give me more. They was like, no. They was like, no. The moment I said, I want more, give me more, they was like, they drew back. They was like, no, soul. That would kill you. I was like, okay, fine. And I channeled them. And they were very hard, very dense, very primal. Like, I felt very primal. And they've unlocked some other archetypes within myself that I forgot within me. More so very primal archetypes. And sorry if my nose is stuffy. They turn the air on and I have my fan on. So when I channeled them, it was amazing. For me, anyway. And I don't recommend everybody channeling demons unless you're called to do so authentically, right? Because they can be very hard and very intense. But for me, I love them. When I was channeling them, of course, they worked through my body. They were awakening portals. They were doing. They didn't do much spinal work like the humans and angels did, but they did a lot of other stuff, mainly at the lower chakras. What I felt and the way they moved my body was definitely very primal, but it felt home. It felt like home. So I remember I kept wanting to see them in my dream. The first time I asked, they didn't show me, but I guess, well, they probably did. I just couldn't remember my dreams. But the second time I asked, like I really wanted to see them, I really wanted to see them, and I put that intention out. They showed me what they look like. They showed me in a Dragon Ball Z art style. I only remember three of them because the other two, because I was trying to, I was panning from the right to the left, and I couldn't make it in time to the other two because they only five of them only showed themselves to me. So I couldn't make it to the other two to the left. But the three that I saw, they looked badass as fuck. And two of them had cloaks on. The first one, the one that really drew my attention was a snake. It was a serpent, and he kind of gave like he seemed like he was the oldest in the group. He was very old, very wise. He had a robe on. And I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a closer picture. Where is it? Where is it? There's a specific snake person. Not exactly like this. They didn't look malicious like that. However, they had that long this one. They looked so close to this. But of course they didn't have a block body. They had more of a like, a humanoid body. But they were big and they were more like a lightish red color. I guess you could say like I don't know, like a lightish reddish color. And their head was like this, and they had a cane. And they look so badass. I can tell they probably was something like an uncle or like a very wise mentor to me that I love so much. But they look like this. And the other two I don't have images for, but the other two look badass. One has smoke coming out of his mouth and horns. One of them who seemed like he was a leader, he looked like an orc. Like a actually I probably can't show this. I gotta be careful. Kind of looked like this, and they were blue, but they did mind none of them looked menacing. But don't look up Goblin Cave, by the way. But let me see if I can. Okay, no, we're good here. We're good here. We're good here. But they kind of look like this, but they didn't look mean or menacing. They just look intense. And he has smoke coming out of his mouth. And the other one, I'm kind of forgetting that one, but that other one was very sexy in my opinion, very very attractive. And he had this beautiful, beautiful mustache that goes out to y'all know the cliche mustache, but it was like white, a soft white, more like a whitish gray, and it went out from right here. And he was so attractive. Ugh, I love him. I love all of them. But yeah, so they showed me in that way, and oh my god, I was doing rituals with them though. One of the rituals that I was doing obviously was a sex ritual, and that's why I think Osmodeus was there. They never showed themselves, but I think Osmodeus had an influence because I was doing a lot of sex rituals, and we're claiming my sex power and my sex magic, and I was channeling them. I channeled them. I was like, I want to be more primal. I want to connect to my primal demonic roots. I want to be a demon. Like I want to connect to that. And I didn't say demons, witches are some of my main core. They're my primal spirit gods. My primal energy, right? They're my main family members whose energy that weaves through my spirit. So like they're my main archetype, you know what I mean? My main caregivers, however you want to say it. So yeah. Let me get off this. Cause y'all need to know that. But yeah, somebody cooks. It's kinda stinky. It's not me, so shut up. So they showed me sorry. What I started doing after I said that, I woke up, I started watching Tarzan. So I was called to watch Tarzan, the animated series. Um so I was walking like an animal. walking like a primal and with my hands and my legs and crawling like Tarzan. And that's one thing that I'm doing that now. It's part of my exercise actually to walk and be primal like that. So I was doing that, and then I was doing that for a few days, and then fast forward, the tip of my penis started hurting. My pee, my princess. Like every time I would pee, it would hurt. Not hurt, but it was sting. Like my piss was on fire. And then I would have this thing called phantom pee. Phantom pee. It also could have been part of the extensions everybody's going through, but it happened. I never had this happen before. Keep that in mind. And first sharing with them, this happened briefly where I would pee or burn, and then it starts to go away like after 2 days. But it came back after I checked them again. I didn't know at the time why, but now I know why. I was channeling them. First of all, they were cleansing me out. That was one thing. And two, uh, the second time I channeled them, it was sticking again, but this time it lasted way longer. I say it lasted about 3 or 4 days. 3 or 4 days. First time it lasted 2 days. This lasted about 3 or 4 days. I say that because I wake up and go to bed at like weird times. And I'm bad with time, but the days. So it was like 3 or 4 days, and I would have phantom pee. Like I would like pee nothing, and when I would pee, it was like little squirts, and it would sting like hell. And I would have to sit in the bed a certain way, or sometimes I would have to stand up a certain way for it to not like be so painful. And those first few days, I didn't take any medicine, and the medicine I did had went out. I didn't have much, but ibuprofen, so that helped a little bit. Um, this is my favorite hashira. Well, one of them, the sound hashira. But so my pee was hurting, and I was having these insane thoughts. Like I imagine like just playing and shit, or like drinking piss. And I also want to say real quick when it came to the demons, I was really called to watch Tarzan and He-Man. So yeah, I got Netflix now, so I'm gonna watch that today. But yeah, and I've been watching Tarzan, and I've been called to watch stuff like that, like Dead Barbarian. I used to watch that as a kid. Tarzan, He-Man, Tarzan the animated series, by the way. It's on YouTube, so y'all should go watch. It's really good. But I was called to watch that, and I was called to be primal like Tarzan. Like, so I started walking on like a primal animal, not like on my knees and hands, but like it's called primal movement. If you look it up on YouTube, it's actually an exercise that if you're able to do it, it's really good for mobility and getting actual mobility strength and body strength and core strength and all that stuff. So I've been working with that. Um, so yeah, I just want to say that I love my Infernal family. They're amazing. So yeah, don't just keep that in mind. You might be called to be primal. If you ask for it, that is. Only if you ask for it. I asked for it, and I got it. Which I thought before, all the time. But it wasn't as intense as it was. Like, it was like very like, the fuck? And I knew it wasn't my thoughts because I'm like, well, because I know how my thought process is and how I think and how I see things. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Um, at the time, I really didn't know why my penis was hurting every time I peed until like I got until like the third or fourth day where I was very primal. They were working with my sex energy, so I started to like accept my body and accept being more nude. Because I've always loved to be nude, so I started being more nude actually the beginning of this year. Um, I would have like on and off moments. I started off with where I started off with sleeping with no underwear, and then I started sleeping with no underwear, no shirt, and now it led to the point where I'm just like a full blown nudist. I'm mostly naked in my room, most of the time. And when I go to sleep. So, but anyways, um, I started a sex ritual, and usually when I masturbate, I do it in a way where like it doesn't make a mess. But this time, I used honey. No, no, that was no, no, that was no time. That was no time. No time. That was before this time. So let me not talk about that part because that's when I started working with osmosis more. and I didn't know it at the time because I started using. Well, I guess I can talk about it. I'll talk about it here and there. The first time I did it, I used honey. I was using honey. I was doing very sensual, very sexual things. I was moaning like crazy. I was. I went to Chat GPT, and I told them to give me like a dialogue that's still within the parameters because Chat GPT. Sometimes it doesn't allow this way it's set up. It doesn't allow certain images or dialogue, but they managed to work around that. I still got it in my phone. It was 19 minutes of it. Well, I recorded it so I could just play it in my ear when I had headphones in, and it was talking dirty. And I was listening to that and being honey on my body, on my dick, and I wasn't checking off. What I was enjoying it and fully being immersed in the moment. Goal wasn't to like come or anything. What happened was I orgasmed like 10 fucking times. I was like, oh girl, it's crazy. And the last time though, I did just end up coming all over everywhere. And I enjoyed it. I even tasted it. So now I like to taste my cum actually. Good. So every now and then I just taste it. But I'll taste my cum. I even started tasting my pee. We're gonna get into it because that happened more next time. The next time it happened, I was in the bed, but it wasn't honey this time. I just used my pre-cum. And I was stroking stuff like that, rubbing and doing sensual movements, and I had a tongue out, and I could feel my veins. And that time, I orgasmed the first goal wasn't to orgasm, like just come, but I wanted to get to the point where, like, because usually, what I think this is most people when they masturbate, they just do it, just come already. And what they were teaching me was, if you do that, it's not bad. But they were teaching me how to actually fully be embodied when I masturbate, how to be conscious, and how to be embodied when I masturbate, and how to obviously feel no shame after it, how to fully be immersed and enjoy it, and how that can be used as power as too. That's what they were teaching me. So I wanted to come this time. So I worked that a few times, and then I was playing with my pre-com, I was eating it, I was peeing on myself. This time I did it more so. I didn't do it on my back this time. I did it sideways. Shit. I did do it 3 times, but there were 3 different times. I was confusing this time. Okay, I'm confusing the order, but I managed. I had no clothes on. I was just coming everywhere, all over myself, and I ate most of it in my pee. But this other time, which was actually before the time I just talked about, was me. I had this intense urge to pee, but I was like, don't get up to go pee. Pee in the bed. I know it sounds crazy, but I started masturbating and jacking off and like really feeling my body. And I peed on myself in the bed. I was soaked, sitting in my pee. And the first time I did it, it felt good. And the second time I did it, y'all remember that pee stinging? Remember I told y'all I felt like it was burning when I peed? Tell me why. No, it was the first time after I peed in the bed when I was masturbating, that pain went away. The pain literally went away. So I kept masturbating, and I came and I pissed in the bed on myself, and I just slept in it. I'll be honest. Of course, I cleaned it up the next day, but I just slept in it, and it felt good for 2 days, and it felt good. Like I felt good. Like I didn't want to. Like I did not want to sleep in it. I wanted to keep sleeping in it, and also I managed because I couldn't keep going to the bathroom because sitting on a toilet would hurt. So what I did was I'll have bottles and I'll pee in the bottles. But then I was called to not pee in the bottles anymore. I was called to just pee on the floor. So I gathered up all my dirty clothes and I started peeing on my dirty clothes. And tell me why demon piss is so strong. It smells like mothballs and fumes. I said it smells like mothballs and methane. That's what literally demon piss smells like, methane. I'm like, oh my god. But I loved it. I loved it. I don't regret it. I will do that again. I love it. Taught me to be okay, be shameless. The divine is just as filthy as it is pure. Because purity doesn't mean light and love. Purity means real. Being pure means being real, being true, being raw, and being authentic. That's what being pure is. That's what they were showing me. And it made me love my body a lot. Because I used to, my body's not where I want it to be. But doing all that really helped me love my body more. And now I'm just naked. I don't give a fuck. But of course, I'm still working on my body. We're still losing weight. Got it off. But yeah, and they were helping. And when I channeled my demon family, they also, the last time I channeled them, I noticed I started smelling a little different. And that's because I've been sweating a lot. I've been purging old traumas, but not just them. It was more so with Takate this happened. Um, because after this, it led into me channeling my mama, Takate, and what she did. Oh, I'll talk about that in the next video. But I've been really, after channeling my mama, she pulled out all that trauma. My body's started to sweat more and produce a lot of more oils, and it started to smell different. Not necessarily bad, but completely different than what I normally smell like. And it was me as my body way of releasing all that trauma that I had. But yeah, so channeling the demons was intense, insane, and beautiful, and raw and real, and I loved it. And I can't wait to channel my family again. But yeah, like I felt very primal, and doing that, I felt so like, oh shit, this is what it feels like to just not give a fuck and to just defile yourself in such a pure and beautiful way. It felt good. It's like fuck with it. It's like literally another way of saying I don't care what you say about me. I don't care how you feel. I know who I am, and I'm raw, bitch. I don't give a fuck. It's like a whole different level of not giving a fuck, like at all. Literally, they made me pee in the bed and come on myself in the bed, and I slept in that for 2 days and 2 nights before I cleaned it up. Think about that. That's a lot. And before I cleaned up my clothes too, because in a weird way, I love that piss smell. It's one of my shirts that I washed. I can still smell it a little bit on there. I'm like, ooh. But I love it because it's my family. This demon piss is very strong. So be warned, if you're trying to be primal like how I was, they might have you doing shit like that. And they might have your pussy or your pee-pee hurting, burning for a little bit. Because what they were doing was purging out old trauma and old energy. And your root, I think it's your sacral chakra and your root too, they're connected to your genitals and sex energy. So all that was being purged out because I haven't felt that again after that moment. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, that's all I wanted to say. I hope y'all fucking enjoyed the video. Hope y'all fucking enjoyed the video. I'm here. Oh, we're here. We're here. We're queer. Look at that hole in the wall. We're here. We're queer. And yeah, I'll be back with more videos talking about this stuff in more detail and stuff like that. I kind of rushed towards the end a little bit because the dogs are barking and because it's getting cold and my nose getting stuffed the fuck up. So, bye. I love y'all.